It's easy to love socialism when someone else is starving from it, and calling Trump a dictator and Maduro a president when he lost the last election and refused to give up power is a pretty ironic place to start protesting from. So let's talk about it. When we discuss Venezuela, it's not some cute left versus right, my team versus your team thing. This is pro-human versus anti-human. So let's rewind. A country that once had one of the highest standards of living in Latin America was driven into the ground by the very ideology Western activists are now romanticizing. They repost slogans about late-stage capitalism whilst Venezuelans are scavenging through garbage to eat for their survival. Under Chavez and then Maduro, the regime seized industries, gutted property rights, and turned the oil sector into a political toy. Hyperinflation wiped out savings, salaries became worthless in weeks, and hospitals ran out of basic medicine. Venezuelans lost so much weight from hunger that they started calling it the Maduro diet. That's the lived reality of the revolution that gets turned into an aesthetic by woke idiots. Today, over 80% of the country lives in poverty. Nearly 8 million people, almost a quarter of the population, have fled. Many risk rape, extortion, and death crossing the Darien Gap, one of the most dangerous migration routes on the planet, just for the chance to start again. And whilst they're walking through the jungle with their children on their backs, Western activists post "hands off Venezuela" like it's some kind of clever moral stance. So let's talk about oil, shall we? Under Maduro, Venezuela didn't just become a failed petro-state, it became a narco-state. Maduro's own nephews were convicted of cocaine trafficking and eventually pardoned by Biden. Narco money flows through networks, cartels, corrupt officials, and yes, groups designated as terrorists in the West, including organizations like Hezbollah. Drugs move north, money moves back, and weapons move in the shadows. And that destabilizes entire regions, and it's the Venezuelans who suffer. The same people who insist that violence is never the answer are effectively saying that Venezuelans should somehow magically overthrow a heavily armed, cartel-linked, foreign-backed regime with what? Some TikToks? When your people are disarmed and your courts are corrupted and your elections are rigged and your protests are met with bullets, external pressure is not some optional extra. It's often the last remaining lever. Western ideologues don't see that because they don't have to. They've never watched their currency evaporate in real time. They've never wondered if the electricity will stay on or if the doctor will have any anesthetic or if there will be anything to eat tonight. They cosplay revolution whilst real people are bleeding for it. So no, this isn't just about oil. It's about a regime that looted a nation and turned it into a pipeline for drugs and dirty money, and helped fuel the very criminal and militant networks that keep other civilians around the world unsafe. It's about anti-Western activists who are so desperate to oppose the West that they end up running interference for tyrants, as long as those tyrants tick their right ideological box. At some point, the question becomes brutally simple. Are you pro-human, willing to put real people's lives above your aesthetic, your theory, and your online identity? Or are you so committed to your ideology that you're comfortable sacrificing other people's freedoms and futures for it?